Greetings, beautiful souls, and welcome to it's about a medium height meadow that is in the back of the property that we're renting here in the Sierra Madre Mountains of Mexico. And I wanted to do this reading to venerate the 8-8 portal, the Lionsgate, which is coming up, and you should receive this on the day of the portal. But you can feel the effects of this portal, for maybe even several weeks before and several weeks after. So just enjoy for a moment. I'm going to be quiet and let you just tap in to the sound of the aspen leaves blowing in the breeze. Feeling the breath as it's coming in and out of your body. It's allowing your nervous system to stand down. There's a lot of energy right now, my friends, in the world. During Leo season, Leo is the king of the jungle. We have a lot of rising of authoritarian strongmen sort of leaders, whether they're men or women or whoever, it doesn't matter. It's sort of that really harsh and punitive and dominant archetype that is arising within some people. And we all have those spaces. We all have those negative thoughts, maybe even disturbing thoughts. We have moments where we're so angry that we want to dominate. We have moments where we want to be right. But this full moon is, as all full moons are, really about the release of that energy, the release of anger, the release of resentment, jealousy, the need to dominate, the need to be right. So you may resonate with this at some point in your life because this full moon is in the opposite sign of Leo, which is Aquarius. And if Leo is very grounded in practical day-to-day action, allowing ourselves to be seen and heard and standing our ground, Aquarius is the cosmic balance point, right? The more intuitive, emotional, creative, imaginary, mystical space, the big picture view. So Leo's really about the self, even more so than Aries, which is the first fire sign in the zodiac. But when we get to Leo, we're halfway through that journey of our personal presence, our power, our ability to take action and have autonomy and sovereignty over our lives. And here comes the breeze. Our mental energy, how fast we're thinking, rapid, hustle. And Aquarius says, wait a minute, slow down. Let's look at the land. Let's look at these beautiful flowers across this meadow. Tap into the rocks. Get into meditation. Go within. We need to channel that energy in a positive way. And we're using 2 decks today. We're using the Wildwood Tarot. Hopefully you can see that. One of my favorites. And then also, and here they come, the Earth Warriors. Very strong, very strong. I did not have those memorized, so I did bring the booklets. But mostly we can interpret through the cards. So when I pulled, let's start with the Wildwood, and when I pulled the first card, I'm going to show it to you in the upright, but it actually came up in reverse. So here we have the World Tree, okay? In the traditional tarot, this would be considered the World card, which, lets us know that a change is coming, that something is happening. And of course we know that something is happening. We've been walking this maze for who knows how long, trying to find our access into that little door, to tap into our infinite connection with nature, with oneness. You can see that on this tree there are 4 seasons. So we have spring and summer and fall and winter. And so we go through these cycles over and over. We walk this path Number 3, 2 plus 1 is 3. So we're really in this cycle of change, but kind of at the beginning of it. And not only are we in individual change, but as you know, we have some old structures, some very, very old structures that are kind of rigid, kind of set in, that are being challenged right now in our world. Some of those challenges are positive, and some of those challenges are punitive and controlling and authoritarian. But we are all seeking for this different viewpoint, right? This different viewpoint. So let's shuffle here and see what else we come up with. So there's definitely change on the horizon for you individually and also as a collective, whatever way that you connect with the collective, whether you're in groups, whether it's a workplace, whether it's a volunteer group, a hiking group. Connection with nature is very, very important. When we are in Aquarius and we are floating in the cosmos out there by Jupiter or wherever, we need to come back down to earth. And I see just such an increasing focus on the earth as many, many regions, including the one that I live in, is going through severe, weather swings. We went from extreme drought in the late spring to, flooding and massive rains, and back and forth. There was fires, forest fires that we could see on the ridge here. So a lot of people are experiencing this, and our connection to the land, to not only the spirit world, the cosmos, the meditation, the floating out of body, all of those, but being deeply embodied. And here we have the Knight of Arrows, the hawk. Okay, so we see the hawk spirit. These cards are so beautiful. So there's a couple of things about the hawk. The hawk obviously can see from a very high distance, right? You see this river, this waterway, this movement, that's coming through here. And the hawk is looking at that and going, okay, is that for me? Is that the direction I want to go? I'm going to take a pause for a minute. I'm going to think, because this is the arrows. So this would be like the swords in the traditional tarot. And they're sitting on some type of either pine, spruce, some kind of conifer, which is evergreen, right? So this is a decision that you're needing to make. And you're going through a lot of mental contemplation about it. And it is a long-lasting decision. It's not just a temporary. These aren't annual flowers that only live for 1 year and then they and then they disappear, and come back the next year from seed. This is a tree that's been going on a long time, and we had this, of course, in this imagery as well. The tree is a very important thing. We have the root system. We have a strong trunk. Then we have the branching out, which is our spiritual evolution. And, there's been some space cleared on this branch. There's not a lot. There's some growth here, but this is bare. So we have this space, this pause, this liminal space to really contemplate, where are we going next, to take a look, get a reading, if you will, an energetic reading of the collective, of our own life, and where we're going with it. And, I encourage you just to take that time, as much time as you need, within reason, of course, unless you have certain deadlines, to really contemplate, to look around, to survey not only your immediate environment, but just, everything. Like, how are things going? What's happening in your career field? Are there trends that are changing? What's happening in the town or the region that you live in? What is shifting right now? And how does that relate to you, to your place in the world, to how you shine your light, to perhaps your career or the work that you're doing? And our third one here is the woodward. So we still have that same kind of, idea of wood as an element, right? Wood as an element is both very strong. It grows relatively fast. Most plants, not every plant, we have some slow growers, but a lot of times it's a resource that we can grow in a relatively short period of time. It can be used to warm us in the winter. It can be carved, as you can see here, into beautiful staffs and adornments. It can build us shelters. So wood is an amazing substance. And within a tree, there are two kinds of systems. There's the xylem and the phloem, and these are located underneath the bark of the tree. And one of them pulls nutrients and water from the soil, and the other one carries waste away. So we also have that same kind of system within our own bodies. We have those systems as well. The woodward is a leader, right? A visionary. He's looking out. He has his trusty lynx by his side, a lynx sometimes called a bobcat. And I saw some bobcats when I lived in Texas. I had some interactions with them. They're amazing, very kind of stealthy, introverted sort of animals, but they do come out when they're hungry and they need to hunt. So it looks like the two of them are ready for the hunt. He's perhaps having just a cup of mead or coffee or whatever that may be to get himself prepared. Again, you see that bird, that larger perspective. So he's decided on a particular direction. And when I say he, I just mean generally I'm just reading what's on the card. It's an energy of dynamism. It's an energy of taking action, getting ready, getting prepared to take action. They're both kind of like, if you ever watch track and field, they have the starting blocks. And so they're like in the starting blocks, but they haven't taken off yet because there's still something that they need to be able to see right here. Okay. So now we're going to move to the Earth Warriors card. So what we have so far is that we know a change is coming. You're walking a different path. You're looking for, what is that small door inside the tree to become a part of nature, become a part of the cycles of life. What is that for you? Taking your time. Here, I'll show it so you can see. Okay, there's the world tree again. And then taking your time to just sit on the branch for a minute, get your bearings, take a look, clear off any old energy, and decide whether this, waterway, this pathway is the kind of current that you want to follow, the place you want to maybe plop a raft and float on down. And then once you've made that decision, maybe there's just like one more thing that you need to consider before you launch and before you get started. So you gather all your gear, you have your staff, you have your cloak, you have your trusted lynx by your side, your cat companion, your familiar. But there's one more thing that you need to look at. And so let's ask the Earth Warriors what that is for the 8-8 portal. It's going to be probably different for each one, but I can give you kind of the general energy here. So let's see what we have. Thank you, Source. Thank you, Spirit. Please show us one card, please, for the 8-8 portal. What is it that we need to contemplate? Okay, so I love this. I love this. This is number 18, which if you add them together comes to a 9. So this is a point where you have almost completed a cycle. You are pretty masterful at whatever you do or whoever you are, how you show up. You are visionary. You are tuning into your intuition, your third eye. You are looking out into the future. There's just some beautiful, beautiful details. Let me see if I can capture this for you. There's this gorgeous headdress. Again, now we have, the feathers and the wing as a symbol of our ability to fly into this new perspective. And this says, blessings from the son of Hanapaka. So I'm going to read for you while you look at this gorgeous landscape and see the trees flowing. I'm going to look up and see what we need to know. So this is, what is it that you need to be aware of that perhaps you thought you were ready for, but there's one more thing you need to consider, right? So the wings on this person's head is actually a condor, okay? A condor. And we don't talk about condors very much, but they're a really special animal. So condor spirit swiftly brings the will of spirit to earth through the gift of powerful medicine. So it sounds like there's some healing that you might need to do before you're ready to embark on this new path. Despite great odds, even in the face of what may appear to be inevitable defeat, extraordinary triumph is at hand. So if you've been going through some hardship, especially during Leo season, but even back to Cancer season, it's been very emotional for you. Maybe you've gotten some bad news, or Maybe you got downsized at work, or maybe a relationship is starting to fall apart. There's a variety of things that could be happening, and it feels like, oh, you're hitting rock bottom. And of course, there's a lot of people around the world who are going through some very difficult things right now. But what it means is that there is a rise, okay? You are getting ready to rise. This is the prophecy of resurrection, of the rising up of what was thought to be lost. It shall happen with unexpected and surprising swiftness, right? So we have the condor is an amazing animal. For the size that it is, it can fly very fast. Your divine destiny is now held in the guiding hand of a great spiritual master. Now you can decide what that means for you. You might have spirit guides, you might have ancestors who connect with you, you might be studying with someone. I always just say, please retain your personal spiritual and energetic sovereignty. Don't give away your power to anyone, not even me, because it's just important that we retain that. That's part of our journey here on Earth. Condors are born with their eyes wide open, but do not have vocal cords. Okay, so we can see, but we can't really articulate what we're seeing. We know there's a changing energy. We feel this energy coming. Okay, we feel it. We feel it. We feel it in the world. We feel it within ourselves. A lot of people are moving to different places, changing careers, moving from something that wasn't fulfilling into something that is, changing relationships, rebuilding their inner circle, social network. This is happening everywhere to everyone. These are common themes. You have always seen clearly, so trust in this, even if you struggle to find the words to express all that you see, or feel, I should say. Condors reveal emotion through changes in their skin color, right? This is a reminder to trust what your body is telling you. So this is a very embodied thing. So even while we're in Aquarius and we know we can float out of body and we know we can traverse the cosmos and it's so much fun and it's light and we don't have to worry about these damn human issues, we need to be in the body, okay? We need to be in the body. Your bodily intuition is a form of wisdom. You have a spiritual connection to the universal sacred heart, seeking to awaken itself in humanity. And we are seeing that, my friends. We are seeing more and more people starting to awaken, starting to say, wow, is this all there is? I mean, is it just the work, sleep cycle, work, sleep, work, sleep, work, sleep? Is that all there is? Is this all there is to life? Is this how we really need to create our economic system? Is this really how we need to do relationships? Like, I want something different, right? So you and many other people are continuing to evolve and awaken. It's not like we just awaken once and then that's done. We don't have to do that work anymore. We are in a constant state of evolving, awakening. Your divine life purpose involves assuming the role of a leader, a guide, a healer, or earth warrior for love on this planet in your own unique way. An invaluable spiritual protection surrounds you. Kuntur, or condor, I'm going to bring it back up here so you can see. There's the condor spirit, right? Condor wing, is an ancient bird of the Andes. Once flying alongside saber-toothed tigers, this is the largest flying bird in the world and one of the oldest species on Earth. Soaring to great heights and for hours at a time with little or no movement of his wings, condor holds the medicine of strength, spiritual connection, and grace. With a lifespan similar to that of a human and the ability to soar at exceptional speeds, it also carries gifts of longevity and swiftness. Condor has been on the brink of extinction many times, yet it still survives, even in the wild. At the top of the food chain, the condor is rarely a hunter, never taking life. Feeding off of carrion. Its medicine brings cleansing and protection as it's able to process toxins that would be harmful to other creatures. So it may be that you were exposed to something like mold or heavy chemicals or maybe just kind of like low, dense, low vibrational energy. And there is a detox period, Earlier I pulled that card for another client, the detox. So it's time to, either detox your body. And of course, you want to consult with a medical professional or a practitioner that you trust to help you with that, because, sometimes we can try to force the detox so quickly that we actually get more sick from releasing whatever's inside of us. And that can be true whether you're releasing emotions, whether you're releasing negative thoughts, whether you're releasing something toxic within your body, whether you're having a food sensitivity. There's some piece of this that still needs to be released before you're ready to stand up and get up and take action on whatever it is that you're working towards. And I just want to say that I am also moving towards lending my gifts and talents to the field of environmental justice, land restoration, indigenous and women's voices and leadership. And there are many people I'm seeing who are also feeling drawn to work on climate change and pollution and, cleaning our oceans and reforesting our land. It's like a lot of people are really drawn to this. So that may be specific for some of you, not all of you, but you may have felt for a while that you want to be an earth warrior, right? An earth warrior, a gentle warrior. The predator of the condor, and also the guardian that enabled it to crawl back from near extinction, is humanity, right? So we have been both its greatest ally and its worst enemy. Through collective wisdom and cooperation between various disciplines and industries, human beings have been able to restore with wisdom what was nearly destroyed in ignorance. So when we sort of segment things in society, and we say, this is over here, and this is over here, and these things don't interact with each other, we know that every part of a collective system is interactive. And so we need to be looking at that. Condor is an affirmation of the power that you have to undo damage and create extraordinary healing. But you have to listen, you have to actively respond, and work together in conscious collaboration. So we are leaving the time of the lone wolf, right? And we are moving into the time of collaboration. He's looking forward to heading into the village and meeting people, collaborating. We were all so isolated during the pandemic. And I feel that even 5 years later, we're just now starting to come out of that. We're just now starting to realize we really need that human connection. We really need community. Even if you don't do it a lot, because you might be introverted and HSP or empath and the energy overwhelms you, it's fine to be hermited and be at home. But realize that you do need other people and other humans and other connection, or animals or plants or something to connect with besides just yourself. Condor is the medicine of the shaman, the Andean healer, or the one who knows. Maybe you probably understand that. Like, you just know things. You know things about people. You know things about situations. You can see what might be coming, the different timelines that are possible. And so you need to trust this, my friend. It's really important. In the Andean shamanic worldview, Condor rules the superior spiritual world, the first plane of pure spiritual beings known as Hanapaka. The son of Hanapaka is the shamanic Christ. Now, everyone might not resonate with that. Some people like to call it Christ consciousness, which is really just a high vibrational, unconditional love and faith and light. But you can call it whatever you want. In human form, this being is known as Yeshua, or Jesus. In the language of spirit medicine, it is Condor, right? So use the term that you like best. The oracle brings a message straight from the Christ consciousness, beating as the living sacred heart of Great Spirit. It is an offer of protection that is strong enough to sustain your purity, your integrity, and effectiveness as you navigate the challenges inherent in the earthly world of Puma, known as Kaipaka, and much needed protection over the unconscious world of Snake, known as Ukupaka. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. This protection ensures that your passionate purpose is not distorted by unconscious forces. So if you've been feeling like, okay, I'm ready to make this change. I'm, here, I'm sitting on the branch, I'm ready to make this change, but something seems to hold you back. Then this is an invitation, my friends, to do that healing, to really sense into what your body is telling you, to really listen to your inner knowing. You are the one who knows, and you are the condor, you are the falcon. You can soar high, you can look at the landscape, the map of what is happening. You can assess the patterns of human change and evolution and consciousness beginning to spread. And although there are a lot of things that seem to be really negative right now, there are also many, 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 many more people who are awakening to their spiritual truth, to their Christ consciousness inside, to their source energy, whatever you prefer to call it, their angelic light. There are many more people that are waking up to this. So please understand that it is not as dire as it seems. Of course it's important. We have very important things that we need to be addressing. We need to be addressing how we look at leadership and who we are choosing as leaders, because we are not choosing wisely, as you know. We need to look at the rise of artificial intelligence and ask ourselves, do we want to live in an artificial world, or do we want to live in this world? And I know which one I'm going to choose. I don't have a problem with AI per se, except for the fact that it's now starting to eliminate a lot of people's jobs. And as I've been looking on job boards and seeking this position with environmentally conscious organizations, I see so many job promotions of AI trainer, like AI trainer, high school biology teacher, AI trainer, blog writer, AI trainer, paralegal. So many. There's literally like hundreds and thousands of these. So we know that our world is changing in terms of how we will support ourselves, how we will financially support ourselves, how we'll make a living, how we share resources. Unfortunately, most government organizations in most countries are not providing a social safety net for their people. And so that brings up a lot of fear. It brings up, this tendency for us to sit on this branch for a while and say, I'm just going to sit up here and kind of wait until the smoke clears. You see this sort of smoke and behind the falcon, and it's a good tactic. But really what we need to be doing during that time is doing that inner work, doing that inner healing, really assessing, what is my leadership now? What is being asked of me now? What is my vision? How am I listening to my intuition? How am I tapping into my body? Yes, I now have this higher picture. Now I'm looking at trends and patterns and really trying to figure out where do I fit in? And the most important thing about the 8-8 portal is that 8, it kind of symbolizes, we're almost to the 10. We've almost accomplished what we wanted to do, but not quite. There's still hard work to do, right? And sometimes we need to walk away from things that aren't serving us in order to open space for something that can serve us. And also, 8 is the infinity symbol if you turn it on its side. And the infinity symbol is all about not only giving of yourself, and I know you do. I know you give to your family, your friends, your workplace, your volunteerism, everything. You give like 110%. I know, my friends. I know. However, you also want that energy to flow back along that infinity symbol towards you, and you want to receive. So we need to learn how to receive. We need to learn about right timing, and when we start to take off from that branch and spread our wings, and when we take that risk to move to another place, or when we take that risk to start a new career, or when we take that risk to reinvent ourselves after our children leave the nest, or when we take that risk to say hello to this person that you really kind of like, you have a shine to, and now you're going to take that risk to see if there's anything reciprocating. So really in this portal, it's like recognizing and watching and observing, where in your life are you giving and not receiving back? Where in your life are you receiving but maybe not giving back? And how do you balance those scales, and how do you make that work for you? So to finish this off, because it's getting a little bit long, but it's a really important portal. This is one of the strongest portals during the year. And so I'm going to pull one more card from the Wildwood Tarot. Oh, there was 2 more. Okay, let's see what we have here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's take these two. Okay. So first of all, we have the Queen of Vessels, Queen of Cups, which is the salmon that's spawning. So if you're not familiar with this, in certain parts of the world, there are certain kinds of fish and other animals who will actually swim upstream, and they will try to return back to the place of their birth where they hatched as a small egg in the water. And then they go back and they mate and create more and procreate the species. But this actually came up in reverse, right? So again, there's something emotionally that you have not dealt with yet. There's some kind of healing work that you need to do, perhaps about your family of origin, something in the past, an old relationship, something that still holds, pain in your heart, or anger or resentment. Like, how do we let that go? You see, this fish is just like jumping, right? It's just jumping over all the obstacles. They have to go straight up these falls and try to get, over to the place where they were born. So it's like a rebirth. It's like a returning to our true nature. But there's something about this that needs to happen before you can take off into that. And you are helped and supported by an ancestor spirit. And maybe you know this person, maybe it's farther back in your line. They're definitely, providing a rhythm, and if you tune in and you listen, you can hear, that drum beat. Right? You have to listen in. This is less about talking. This is more about listening. This is more about receiving. This is more about tuning into that intuition and trusting yourself on this journey. Whatever way that you are reinventing you, it is going to happen, my friends. It is coming. But give yourselves a moment to sit on that branch, to do a quick inventory, to see where you need to clear something out, to get a lay of the land, to look at the patterns, because everything around us in the collective is changing, shifting, moving. And sometimes if we jump too soon, we kind of miss a later opportunity. So if you have the ability to wait, tap into that Aquarius energy, that humanitarian energy, that collective energy, the cosmic energy, the mysticism, the crown chakra being open to receive, and spend some time in nature, my friends. I'm always going to advocate for that. I hope you have a wonderful 8-8 portal, Lionsgate. It might come through like a roar, or you might just carefully pad your way into the space. But either way, you are right on track. You know what you're doing. You are I'm sorry, what was the name of that? I'm still learning from this deck. It's really amazing. Yeah, you are the Kuntur Yachak, the condor. You are the condor. You have longevity. You are ancient. You can survive through many, many eras of different kinds of challenges. You have that big picture. And you know what? You're there to help heal and hold that vibration of healing for our planet so we can move together as a collective into a new era of human consciousness, of kindness, compassion, community, connection, indigenous and women-led leadership. These are the areas we're moving into, and there are definitely some growing pains. But I am here for you. You are here for me. We are reciprocating with each other. We are gathering together billions and billions of sensitive, empathic people across the world. And we are not going out like this. We are standing up for the world that we want, the world we want for our children, for our grandchildren, or whoever may be in your life. I love you, my friends. Have a beautiful Lionsgate, and I'll talk to you soon.